Shalom, shalom, shalom lakam, which is peace unto you all. Habakwar tawab la'atam za'akyakam yawam man rachagadol Charlotte, which is good morning. This is your brother Yawan from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Nacham atam kaya hamlakat hashamayim kwara, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call laim la abanaw yahawu bahasham yahusha bahasham racha hakodash. Wamashana la zakwanian mawa wamalakim shor rachagadol, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means he exists, Bahasham, in the name Yahweh delivers, and double honor to those and apostles of Great Millstone. This is an article on Fox News. It says, after video of armed Venezuelan gang shared by a local official goes viral, Colorado City takes action. It says the apartment buildings overtaken by Venezuelan, and it says the buildings, don't just say one room. It says the apartment buildings overtaken by Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, however you say that, were deemed a criminal nuisance. It says Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman announced on Friday that the city is starting the process of clearing the apartment buildings where transnational armed gang Tren de Aragua has taken over. In a statement posted to Facebook, Kaufman shared the Aurora City Attorney's Office is preparing court documents to request an emergency court order to clear the apartment buildings where Venezuelan gang activity has been occurring by declaring the properties as a criminal nuisance. It says this will require a municipal judge to issue the order with the goal of getting these properties back under control of the property owners. In the meantime, the law enforcement task force set up to disrupt and arrest Venezuelan gang members in these buildings will continue its operation. It says, I strongly believe that the best course of action is to shut these buildings down and make sure this never happens again, concluded Kaufman. One has already been picked up, and an email to Fox News Digital Aurora Police Department confirmed that Tren de Aragua leader Cookie Monster is currently in custody in relation to to a shooting on July 28th. It says Fox 31 reports that men seen in the video has gone viral, armed members of the Tren de Aragua gang, according to the Department of Homeland Security sources.
Our heartbeat is the rhythm of life, and nowhere else is it felt quite like here. You can sense it in the tempo of the tides and breezes, and in the artistic expressions of our people. For ours are no ordinary Caribbean islands, and yours no ordinary Caribbean vacation in the U.S. Virgin Islands, naturally in rhythm.
This is happening in the States, the U.S. Walking around with assault rifles. You got a guy looks like some type of 40 caliber or a bigger type of handgun. You got guys walking up steps. This is what they pushing forth with. And it's been reports, like on social media and stuff like that. But pretty much, as guys coming from there saying they was hired to pretty much come over here and cause chaos. Yeah, they pretty much go inside the apartment. But it says former Colorado apartment resident says Governor Polis wouldn't last 5 minutes against armed gangs. Which I'm not going to read this whole article. I'm just going to get some precepts. All right. So nevertheless, we'll get this. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12. And it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. I'm going to get this in the NLT. And it says, sin will be rampant everywhere. Sin is rampant everywhere, which, bros coined the phrase flood behavior. This is flood behavior 2.0, wickedness is everywhere. So it says, and the love of many will grow cold. The love of many is growing cold. Back in like the 90s, or maybe the 80s, 70s, 60s, people wasn't walking around with assault rifles going into people's houses and stuff like that, I'm gonna get these words as well. Wax cold, it says, metaphorically of waning love. So if you took the moon and has like the waning, pretty much it decreases in a decreasing state. So love naturally is decreasing, you know. All right, I'm gonna go back. It says iniquity. It says the condition of without law. You know, it's lawlessness. You know, which is it's lawlessness without the scriptures, and then also Esau's lawlessness because he's essentially put it to where, all right, you can walk around with these types of weapons. I know a lot of states have most recently became open carry states, and then you know you had the whole cash bail system in like Chicago, which we're not hearing anything about that. You know, and it's pretty much things that's going on around the globe that's not being reported. You know. And, you know, specifically in America, Babylon the Great as well. It's a lot. I'm gonna get this. This is Yeshaya Isaiah chapter 19. We'll get verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt. All right, and we'll get this real fast. This is Shamwath, Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. It says, I am the Lord thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So Egypt represents the house of bondage, you know, because the Lord had delivered us from that first bondage, you see. So the scriptures call this place Sodom and Egypt, you see, because they take on the detestable acts of those two places and many, many more. But specifically those two places in that scripture, you know. And secondly, Egypt represents bondage, and the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are in bondage, you know. All right. So going back to Yeshaya Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. It says, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. All right, the idols of Egypt are being moved when the Lord visits this place, you know, because a lot of people, you know, they confide in their guns, you know, they confide in their money, they confide in their false senses of security, and all those things can be likened to idols. You know, these Americans idolize different things, you know, and those things are being moved. They can't trust in those things, you know, because I'm pretty sure, you know, a lot of those people didn't really think, you know, those people would run into their houses, you know, and that's how, you know, the idols that they confide in, you know, are not coming to their defense, you see. But that's nothing more than prophecy just moving throughout the earth, you know. So that's how their idols are being moved at the Lord's presence, which that's just a you know, a small example. The Lord's going to do it in a much greater fashion, you know, because a lot of people ultimately trust in this money, you know. So when that charagma is dropped, you see a lot of people going to have some very tough decisions to make, you know. Just like, you know, JC, you know, Islam, all of these things are not going to have any type of answers to say, you know, in these perilous times. You know, they're going to be moved, essentially. It says, in the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Hey, the American dream, you know, I'm going to get this word for heart. And it says labab. And it says the will. Hey, the will of this place. No one wants to live for the American dream anymore. No one wants to work. You know, no one wants to bring forth children, because the American dream, you know, you had your 3 kids. You know, you had the big ass house. You had like 2 cars, and then you cooking out on the grill and shit. You got the white picket fence. You know, nobody can afford. The housing market is shot. All right, homelessness is on the rise. All right, infidelity is very high. All right, no one wants to have children anymore. So that American dream is shot. You know. Just like, you know, they had the 401ks and, you know, things like that, you see. But this dollar, it's not like what it used to be. All right. So going back, and it says heart of moral character. You see, even though, you know, America was built on rape, robbery, and murder. All right. It was built off deceit. You see, it's still somewhat held fast to traditions, you know, i.e., you know, not having any moles. You know, back in like the early 1800s, if somebody was caught, you know, doing that, or something, say somebody was caught, you know, being a witch or something like that, they would have took them people out, you know. So this place has moved far from, you know, moral character, so to speak. All right. So nevertheless, continuing on, we'll go to verse 2, and it says, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother. everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Hey, so pretty much infighting. That's essentially what's happening. All right, America is spiritual Egypt. All right, well, these Egyptians are pretty much warring against each other. All right, those people were in Colorado. All right, and that's a state in America. You know, so Egyptian against Egyptian. All right, we understand what the scriptures say about what happens with infight, and we'll get that Lord as well. All right, verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. And it's failing. You know, the Lord is imploding this place. Is collapsing from the inside out. You know, then it's going to be destroyed. It's going to be nuked. All right, it says, I will destroy the counsel thereof. You know, the scriptures say, is there no more wisdom in Teman? You know, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. You see, because for so long, America was able to hide behind the propaganda, you know, hide behind the media, you know, but it's not like that no more. Everybody's doing research. The Lord is putting a spirit on people to pretty much spill the beans. And they're like, yeah, like the scriptures say, all that see them shall flee away, roughly paraphrasing. All right, let's get this as well. And I'm going to go ahead and close it. This is Matthew, Matthew chapter 12 and verse, we'll get verse 25, and it says, Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Shaitan cast out Shaitan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? You see, so his kingdom isn't going to stand, all right, because he's essentially just like Rome was destroyed, you know, like pretty much bringing in those, you know, they had like some type of migrant crisis, and that's essentially what America's going through. But or specifically with this migrant crisis, they're telling them to come in, and they're telling them to come in with motives, you know. So it says desolation. It says to make desolate, lay waste, strip her of her treasures, to despoil one. That's essentially what they're doing, you know, which is only going to keep increasing, you see. So I just want to go into that. Adonai Tazah Zabanayapa, Lord's will. That was a beautiful edification through the spirit. Wa Adonai Tazah Atam Yash Yawam Tawab, a Lord's will. You all have a good day. Wa Shalom Lakam, which is peace unto you all. Wa Tahaya Gadol, which is go be great or be great. Shalom.